Welcome to this program called Peace Conversation. My name is TK Nakagaki. I'm hosting this program, and I try to bring the guests every time, and we have a dialogue, well, conversation actually. And then I try to do a little more relaxed way, so I have some cups and drink and so forth. And I don't think a sake is something, but at least we have a little more relaxing way. And so today's guest is actually Mr. Tak Furumoto. I've been knowing him for 26 years or so. It's a long time. We have all young time. We are very young at that time, I guess, when we first met. And so today we have Mr. Furumoto-san. I wanted to ask you to sort of introduce yourself simply, and then we can start the conversation. Okay. So thank you very much for today, for joining this program.
Okay, thank you, Reverend Nakagaki. Yes, I have known you close to 27 years.
27,
It's been an honor to have known you and working together on the August 5th, August 6th in Japan for this is our 27th year. Let me talk about myself a little bit. As Reverend Nakagaki said, my name is Tak Furumoto. It's actually Takeshi, but they call me Tak for alias. I'm a son of immigrant farmer. My father came here in 1920s, and he had only 8th grade education, and he went to segregated school in Florence, Sacramento, California. And he was having, his dream was to dream the American dream. Of course, he was not able to do it, but for his offspring, for myself and for my 4 sisters, he was able to do so. But anyway, I was born in internment camp. It's called Turu Lake. As you know, the Japanese American.
Right.
We were interned during the World War II for 4 years. And actually, I was born in Turu Lake segregation camp in October 1944. After we got released, got back to Hiroshima, Japan. Without this, I don't think I'd be talking to you today. But at that time, my grandparents, my father's side and my mother's side, they were living in Hiroshima, Japan. My mother's side is actually only 1 mile from Ground Zero.
Atomic bomb very, very close.
Called Dambara, near Hiroshima Station. And my father's side was about 5 miles, called Hiroshima, Nishihara in Hiroshima, Japan. And that's where I grew up. So we were back there. We left the United States 1945 December. We arrived in Japan in 1946 January, 5 months after atomic bombing.
Right. Yeah.
And so I grew up there for 10 years. I came back to the United States in Los Angeles in May of 1956. So actually, I finished 5th grade education in Japan, Hiroshima, Japan. It's called Gion Elementary School. And after that, we came back, and we lived in South Central Los Angeles. And I went to school at UCLA, and at that time, there was a war, Vietnam War going on.
Right, Vietnam War. So
I have to register selective service, and I had volunteered to go into officer candidate school. So February 1968, I had volunteered into the United States Army and served in Vietnam for 3 years.
3 years.
And I went to officer candidate school, became an officer, and I was commissioned as intelligence. And I served in Vietnam from 1970 February to 1971 February in a place called Duquay, Hanya Province, as an intelligence officer and also a CIA-sponsored program called Phoenix. And after that, I came back to the United States in Los Angeles, and I had moved to New York. I kind of isolated myself after coming back from Vietnam. Like many of us, we got crazy. I came back with the PTSD. So I isolated myself in New Jersey. That's where I am now to this day. Going on from 1971.
So how many years you've been
to now? So we're talking about, about long time. So, and this is where I started, and I got married the following year. And that's when I had met my wife prior to going to Vietnam, but I had asked her to marry me, and she had said, Tak, this is the biggest mistake I've made in my life, because I had the PTSD, and I gave her, it was such a horrible time. But somehow we made it. We've been married here for 48 years this year.
That's
somehow,
right. Because I've known her also about the same year.
Yes,
every time, because she came with you
years,
to the anniversary too.
So somehow we got into real estate business because I couldn't hold a job when I came back because of PTSD. I got terminated in many jobs. So that's how Furumoto Realty was born, out of my PTSD and experience in Vietnam. And here I am. To this day, I'm a real estate agent, and I'm still here.
Yeah, you have many branches too, right?
Yeah, so that's kind of brief background of mine.
Right. So maybe I can probably ask you, because we start involving. I came to the New York 1994, and then that happened to be the year of the 50th anniversary of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So that since then we've been together.
Yes. Right.
And so you are the president at that time for the Hiroshima-kai?
Yes. At that time, I was chairman of Hiroshima-kai of New York.
Right.
We had established this Hiroshima-kai in New York back in 1987 with the Hiroshima Bank and Hiroshima Sogo Bank, which is called Momiji Bank now.
Oh, okay.
And we started Hiroshima-kai as a social gathering.
Oh,
so
I see.
Actually, even though it started in 1987, when I first met you, this is how I got involved with the Hiroshima Peace Memorial every year since 1994. I guess that was the 50th year. When you invited me as a keynote speaker at the Riverside Church, I remember. And we've been together ever since. And you did a tremendous job making it grow, and
well, it was a very small gathering at the beginning. But very grateful for you to always support that we've been doing, and so I know you're from related to Hiroshima anyway, but at the same time, especially this particular program I try to do because of the 75th anniversary this year. Maybe if you wanted to share a little bit any special feeling that you have today.
Well, my roots are from original roots, my grandparents and so on.
Right.
My father's side, my mother's side, they're from Hiroshima, and I did spend 10 years of my life in Hiroshima. So that's how I got involved. And every year since I met you, 1994, we've been doing this. And this year, in fact, you and I were supposed to go back to Hiroshima for the first time for the ceremony, but this pandemic came, so I had canceled it. But you're
I don't know.
We don't know yet.
Well, I try to wait until the end, but now of course we have to stay 2 weeks and so forth, so it's almost impossible.
75th year is 75 years, and Hiroshima is, as you know, is known as peace symbol of the world. And they, for the 75 years, they have the ceremony every year, showing the symbol of peace. And I think every little bit helps. And every year, I read the Peace Declaration written by the Mayor of Hiroshima in English, and the words in there are the words of Hibakusha, which says that don't let this ever happen. This atomic bomb is a horrible thing. Let this be us and not everybody else. And they kept on saying it. And as you know, because of it's been so many years, many of the victims are dying, and it's important to really celebrate every year for the recognition, so that this terrible history does not ever happen again. So those are some of my thoughts. I think I always think about Hibakusha, who has suffered the most. I don't know how they feel, because I myself is not a victim of the bomb, but it is awful feeling, because I met my relatives,
you have all the relatives,
friends. In fact, my elementary school classmates, all of them are victims of atomic bombing. They were born in 1944, so I feel for them, but so that I want to make sure this does not happen again. Well, those are some of my thoughts for the 75th year.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because 75th. Yeah, so it is kind of hope we could go, but anyway, but still, or maybe this year, maybe small way, but maybe like a Zoom that we are doing like this, and then we may just bring something. But at the same time, so this is one of the ways for me to try to make people aware of this particular year, and also maybe time to think of what is happening, even like nuclear weapons and so forth all over the world. I mean, especially U.S. and Russians and so forth. I mean, that's one area. But at the same time, maybe how we can live, how we can maintain this peace is also, for me, seems very important. And but sometimes, I wonder how you are maintaining, or do you have any secrets of maintaining your part of life? You're always, giving the kind support and continue to support. I mean, different parts of the society. Japanese American society and all those in general. New York society too. So maybe if you have some secrets of your keeping the right, the way of life.
I think I've been very lucky. I know. I mean, when I talk about my life, I was born in a camp where Japanese Americans were locked up because of the fact that we're Japanese Americans. That's the only reason we got locked up for 4 years. Lost everything. My parents had a hard time, but nevertheless, I was born in America, and I was able to realize the American dream. So in that respect, our parents worked so hard to give me education. And I got to this point, so I'm very thankful. Number two, I came back from Vietnam, and I had problems, PTSD and so forth. Coming back, I was disabled, Agent Orange and so forth. But and I couldn't hold a job. But nevertheless, I started the real estate business, and I really had to thank my wife, who had supported me all these years. She had a hard time for 7-8 years, but I've been very lucky. Having my wife, So again, I've been very lucky with my parents, my wife, even my sisters. I have 4 older sisters. Once we went back to Hiroshima, Japan, we were in a way deported. We couldn't come back to this country. So my sister, when she turned 19, she came to the United States, worked hard, and one by one we came from 1952 to 1952, 56 from Hiroshima. So again, my siblings, helped me, and I met so many good friends like yourself, and I've been very fortunate. So I have to count my blessing. I call this ten no en. I don't know how if it's translated. It's a blessing that came from heaven. So
from the heavenly karma.
I've been very fortunate despite all the experiences I had in my life. So I like to use all my experiences and do whatever I can to talk about my experience, give lectures, talk about peace. So this is one of the reasons why I try my best to do so. I've been very lucky.